estos dos siguientes equipos se han clasificado en la gran final. And now we present the teams. With number 1, ESTONIA.
Well, welcome back for the final time to the Catalonia National Institute of Physical Education here in Barcelona, Spain. And it's gold medal match time here on Sunday afternoon. It's just ticked over to 3 o'clock here in Central European time. And we're bang on time for the final between Estonia and China. You see the athletes paraded out with a couple of rather large flags. The lineup for the Estonians. First up will be Irina Imbrek, the silver medalist in the individual event. Kristina Kusk will follow her, and Yulia Belyaeva will be the third Estonian on the piste. Their reserve is Erika Kerpu. The Chinese will come on with Zhu Mingyi, Sun Yiwen, yesterday's gold medalist, and Zhong Pei-ying with Zhang Yuxuan in reserve. And joining me in the commentary box is referee extraordinaire Dave Baker. Dave, our referees for tonight?
Starting off with Gregor Gross from Israel. We have Alana from Venezuela. We have Ana Corvilla from Serbia, and then Vanessa Carnahan from Spain. I think big Gregor and Vanessa to referee, and then we have referees from assistant referees from Serbia and Venezuela.
Well, that's our lineup for the referees, and we have an extremely talented and well-informed referee joining me in the commentary box in Dave Baker. We have the team salutes. Estonia got here, well, they're number 1 seeds, and in fact they won the tournament last year, so they're here to defend their title. They got a bye in the 32. They took out Hong Kong, Italy and Russia in an absolute thriller in the semi-finals. China progressed again with a bye, their 3rd seeds for the tournament. They beat Canada after their bye, then Ukraine, and then also had a very exciting match with France where they led early on. The French came back at them, took the lead, and then China stole it right at the death, winning 45-41. The Russians have taken the bronze medal already this afternoon, beating France in a relatively one-sided affair. The French did put up a bit of a fight at the end, but the Russians went into that more hungry and certainly the favourites for the bronze medal. Here, though, despite the Estonians being the number 1 seeds, we've got this amazing Chinese team, and of course the story that's surrounding women's épée at the moment, the transition of Hughes Aubry from the French setup over to China. Dave, that's big news, isn't it?
Absolutely. Certainly was the face of, I guess, probably more men's épée than women's épée of France. But I think he certainly has a bit of a golden touch, and as a coach, maybe that's because we'd typically see, Gotha Grumier or Daniel Géron or Borel, or pick a French épéiste that would typically be on the podium.
Hey, Trevejo won the European Games in Baku, at the ripe old age of, what was he, 39?
Yeah, I always forget about Trevejo because I think of him as Cuban.
Yeah, of course he was originally.
And it's incredible to think that, you come back at that age and you fencing for France, not fencing for a small country, and you fight your way back into the team. Astonishing.
Well, a couple of seasons back, that French men's épée team took 7 of the 8 titles in one season with 7 different fences.
Just astonishing. We're so dominant.
But he's in China now. He's looking after this team. And first up, Zhu Mingyi is facing Irina Imbrek. Imbrek, of course, getting the silver medal yesterday, gets the Estonians off the mark.
Yeah.
In team fencing, David, you as a referee, let's get some insight as a referee. You share the duties. You kind of alternate 2 matches at a time. Often you talk about concentration, and if you take a break, then sometimes it's difficult to get back into it. Not quite the case in team fencing, is it?
No, I think we're pretty used to that. Certainly in épée, we tend to go 2-2, just on a rotation. What I'd say, sometimes it's a bit different in the conventional weapons. So, say in foil and sabre, I think there's been a bit of a trend for referees to split the match down the middle, so do 5 and 4, just because you do get in the zone and a little bit more consistency with the calls as well. You'd like epee, I guess it's a bit different, especially with the video. You're more looking at piece management, getting the calls, getting the teams in exactly the right place. So it's a different certain style compared to foil and sabre.
And you're not necessarily taking a break either when you're not refereeing. You skip to the referee,
Absolutely.
the video referee.
Yeah, so you won't be able to see on the screen here, but the referee Vanessa here from Spain is standing up, watching the match. You know, we're not. It's not a break by any stretch.
Well, it's an early start for the Estonians here. Embrick 3-1 up halfway through the first period. 9 legs here as Embrick uses perfect distance there to hit with a counter-attack running away. It's the first of 9 legs, so the target score here in this leg is 5. And if one fencer gets to that before the 3 minutes ticks down, then we move straight into the second period, and the next fencers then adopt that score and they take it on to a maximum score of 10. But of course here in epee, more so than any other weapon, we often see non-combativity calls. Are we likely to see that today?
I think both fencers. I think it's going to depend on the matchups. I would have thought that China might want to push a non-combativity call against Embrich, but Zhu's pushing pretty hard and has been punished for it. Tactically, clearly they've made a decision to press like they're doing now. I would have thought that this would a match where you want to roll on to the next period, but maybe. But then again, if you can draw a mistake from Embrich like that and hit her on the counter attack, then maybe it's not necessarily such a bad call. I would have thought this would be a low-scoring encounter, but maybe because of that they're changing it up and actually putting a press on, and you can see China is really using the pace and putting some sort of pieced pressure on Embrich. So maybe they're just doing what she wouldn't expect, trying to change it up.
Right, well there you go, that's a bit of a tactical insight. I think also that with the Estonians taking a lead, and in fact they have finished off that first leg with a 5-1 victory, this is going to push the Chinese to perhaps try and fight and not use non-combativity as a tactic.
No, you'd expect now Sun Yuan to go pretty hard. She's, even though she's using a French grip, which is the straight one, which you'd expect to be a bit slower, a bit more tactical. She's got a couple of hits to make up. She's 3 hits behind. Clearly their strongest fencer with the gold medal yesterday. But I think that could actually work for Christina Kusk, who's now on the piste for Estonia. She does like to control the blade. She's strong, very athletic. Perhaps footwork isn't quite as good as the others, but very, very tactically aware and does like to use the blade. So this will be an interesting matchup. See how this goes. She's
been up and down today, Christina Kusk. She's performed admirably a couple of times, but there have been a couple of fights there. We've followed the Estonians a lot today, and have been a couple of times where she's perhaps lost her concentration. But look, I of course don't want to be offensive to a highly talented international female epee, but she's just looked a bit scrappy at times.
It's a funny one. Like I refereed the match, probably one of the matches you're talking about in the Russia-Estonia, and I think she came in the 7th relay and fenced superbly and actually got them back up to nearly level.
She won the match for them.
For me, absolutely. That's I agree with you 100%. But look, I think she still is, the third fencer on the team, maybe even the 4th. It's actually interesting to see Erika Kerpu on the bench. Maybe the way I think about it is that we don't at the moment. It's currently planned that women's epee is not going to be in the Tokyo Olympic Games, so this is a development opportunity. So we're learning. I don't think, that historically she's had this role in the team, so you are going to have ups and downs. There is going to be variability.
As she finds her way.
Yeah, but astonishing fencer. I've refereed a couple of times in the individual, and has potential to get to podium places in finals.
Well, she's holding her own here against Sun Yuan, yesterday's individual gold medalist. Hughes Aubrey's first title winner as the coach of the Chinese team.
Yeah, I think this just really works. Scoreboard pressures is a thing in every sport. I think certainly Kursky is going to be really happy going into this match with a lead rather than having to chase it. Certainly fits her style. And that Sun Yuan is not going to sit back. She's considered to be the best fencer on the team. She's going to be expected to get a couple of hits back. But right now she's got a -1 deficit in this this match so far.
Which is interesting, well, she's just levelled that off there. It's interesting you say that, though, because yesterday she was more than happy to use non-combativity as a tactic in the individual fights, and she went through it even in the final using non-combativity. And so it's different in team matches, of course, because you have a different responsibility, and of course the scoreline when you come to the piece is going to be a factor in how you take it on tactically.
Yeah, I think there's sort of two ways you use non-combativity. So either you just want to advance it, you don't think, you know, I think I could potentially give away more hits than I could earn in this period. So we're just going to say, all right, we'll leave it on to the next one. Wait till we get to the pointy end of the match. Or you go down a couple of hits, what I'm trying tactically isn't work, so I almost concede. And the other fence is happy because, you know, they've gained 4 or 5 hits for their side.
Sure.
And they're like, okay, cool, we're done. I'll let my friend have another go at one of your friends, you know?
Yeah, sure. And we see this a lot with the Swiss men's team. They use non-combativity a lot, and often you'll get into the 9th leg, and the score, I've seen it a couple of times, 0-0 going into the 9th leg.
It's I've had a couple of those where, you know, with 1-0 or 1-1 or 0-0, and basically, you know, it's a little irritating. You get all the trouble of testing their weapons and getting them ready to go. On guard, ready, fence. And then they back away and salute each other. They're like, oh, great, we're going to do this. We can do this 8 times. Should we just fence to 1 touch now?
Yeah.
But no, I'm liking this approach from China. If they can, you know, it will make for a much more interesting match if we can get there.
Well, they've let time tick away there. They were just under 10 seconds left, so we'll excuse them letting those ones go. Sun Yi Wen having a good leg there, going out 4-3, closing the gap by 1 against Kusk. Up next for China, Zhong Pieying, and for Estonia, Yulia Belyeva. She's been a stalwart in this team today, Yulia Belyeva.
Oh, she's a fantastic fencer. I worried because won 2013 world champion. Julia, I think I'd have to check that, but I know she definitely was a world champion.
I think you're right, 2013 or 2014.
I want to say because 14-15 was Fiamingo when she won 2 on the trot. So I think it's one of those ones where you win the world championships after the Olympics, when it's all a bit topsy-turvy in the sport. And you do see a couple of people that say win the world championships and then, you know, don't achieve anything else. But she's held up. She's actually been the core of this this very, very strong Estonian women's épée team. I was gutted to see them finish 4th in Rio. It's not a good place to be.
I think that you were gutted along with them because you would have quite fancied them for not just a medal, but perhaps even the gold medal.
Absolutely. But I think, you know, the 4 teams that made the 4, obviously Romania beating China in the final, bronze by Russia. Those 4 teams, you know, over the course of the season, over the previous 4 years, were certainly the 4 strongest teams in the world. So someone's got to miss out when you're only handing out 3 sets of medals. I don't know, maybe it's my bias. I like the small countries to do well.
Well, but the fact that they were world number 1s, I think that you would have said that, you know, they'd be the least favourite for missing out, but they did, and they are still number 1 in the world here. But they are here defending their title they won last year. You were quite correct, Yulia Belyeva won the World Championships in 2013 in Budapest, beating Anna Sivkova in the final. And in fact, there's Britta Heidemann, who's an Olympic medalist of her own, and Inese Sash, the reigning Olympic champion from Hungary, sharing the bronze medal that year.
I cannot believe MSA came back. It's still astonishing that she's still fencing.
With a massive smile on her face.
Oh my God, absolutely.
She's enjoying her fencing, why not?
I don't know, if I won an Olympic gold medal, I would be nowhere near a piste. I would be on a beach, mojitos at the ready, you know, like, you know, let's move on to the next stage, you know, like, you know, and it's not like she's 21 either, you know, it's
no, 34 years
34,
old.
yeah, exactly. Like,
but she loves it. She doesn't want to give it up, and why should she? She was got a bronze medal here, you know. Why not?
We were chatting in the core room yesterday. I think everyone was just saying hi and congratulations. Sarah Besbes was there, so we're chatting about Doha and a Grand Prix win, and everyone's like, oh, congratulations. Everyone's so happy. It's super nice. It's a really good atmosphere in the sport at the moment.
Well, we have a call of non-combativity with a minute left on the clock. Only 1 point scored there, and that was by Yulia Belyeva. So Zhong not getting off the mark in her first outing. Belyeva just getting one to just extend the lead. And the Chinese saying, okay, well, I think, you know, as you were saying, Dave, enough's enough. I don't see myself getting a hit off Belyeva. So off I go. On comes Zhu Mingyi. She's on for her second fight, and she'll go up against... That is Kush coming back out. I was just checking. I thought I saw Erika Kerpu getting up off the bench, but I think she was just there to help out with the kitting up.
I think the risk is that they're all required to be an identical kit, which means that you have 4 identical Estonian all-star masks down there. So very easy to pick up the wrong one and not realise until you put it on that it's not yours. But that is those are the rules that we have. That everything is identical.
Well, what's Kush going to do here? Is she going to try and press Zhu? I think Zhu is, and the Chinese certainly look like they're not too keen on taking this fight to the Estonians at this stage.
Yeah, I reckon that Christine is trying to draw an attack, trying to get that distance a bit closer, trying to get a mistake from Zhu, and then really control the bait. Big parry or post. Or even a counter-attack,
and
just like that.
That's just what she was doing in the fight against Russia in the semi-finals. She was going in with that second intention approach where she was closing that distance, trying to draw the Russians out. Andrushina fell into the trap a couple of times, and Kusk so good at either defending, going backwards, or even stepping in and closing out.
Well, I think, even if you are considered to be the 3rd or 4th best fencer on the team, why don't you embrace that? And look, come and attack me. If you think you should be good enough to hit me, then that's what you should do. And if you know they're going to be coming, this actually plays into, for me, that plays into Christina's game.
Even more so if you've got the lead.
Correct. She has to be a bit careful. I mean, that was a sort of attack out of distance with Zhu stepping backwards and so picked off easily with the counter-attack. It's going to be hard. She's got to keep her concentration for 3 minutes. But if she can do it, I think she'll be very effective this match. But you say a lapse in concentration and you lose 30% of your lead.
The focus is, as you well know, Dave, my weapon is foil. I love all 3 weapons.
Of course,
the weapon that I fenced was foil. And a lack of concentration wasn't really a factor in foil, especially the way I fenced it at 100 miles an hour.
This is old timings with flicks going everywhere.
Okay, all right. I'm not that old. Come on. I have fenced with the new timing as a veteran. No, I haven't. That's not true. But the weapon and sabre as well lends itself to the action happening a little bit more intensely and more consistently over the period of a fight. Whereas in épée, you truly do have to have patience, and you need to then maintain.
You have to work for every touch. This is it. You can't just run. Unless it's needed, and we can pull up some YouTube videos of Max Heinzer running really hard and scoring 5 touches in about 7 seconds. But generally, you're putting a lot of work into every touch, trying to draw the mistake there. So, as you saw, and you have a look, the distance was slowly getting smaller. So Christina is then trying to draw this attack. Zhu goes in without the blade. That's the opportunity. Christina Kusk is there with the counter-attack ready to go. Doesn't even need to hit the hand or the forward target. She's just there ready with the timing, drawn a bad attack. And that's because she's put 30 seconds of work, pushing and footwork, drawn the bad attack, hits her on the upper arm. And now the 3-hit lead's restored. Yeah,
I mean, you can excuse people from outside the sport thinking, well, it's a sport with swords, so you just got to have a really fast hand and you've got to be able to defend yourself and slash about a bit. But actually, top-class fencers spend most of the time, 75% of their training is on their feet, because you can have the fastest hand in the world, but if you can't move, you're a sitting duck. And also, if you're new to the sport, as we see Estonia just keep that lead at 3 hits. 12-9 now the score. Zhong coming on for the Chinese team. Embrick coming back out for the Estonians. If you're new to the sport, this is really the easiest weapon to understand, because it is the purest form of sword fighting, the purest form of dueling. It's the first one to hit. You've got to hit with the tip of your sword. So imagine the end of the sword sharp, and your goal is to draw blood on your opponent if they weren't wearing protective equipment. So it's the first one to hit and the whole body's target. So it's pretty simple to understand. If the red light goes on, China score a hit. If the green light goes on, Estonia score a hit. And if both lights come on at the same time and there's no infringements, both fencers score a hit. It's pretty simple to understand. But you talk about distance. I think perhaps the best description of someone who's new to the sport, perhaps just new to fencing, or wants to get better at fencing, wants to understand distance a little bit better, because it is absolutely crucial, is look at the front feet. We're going to get non-combativity here for sure.
Yeah, they don't want to play.
But you look at the front feet of the fencers. This is not the best example of a fight, but perhaps later on we'll see. And you will be able to tell very quickly, watching for 20, 30 seconds, who is controlling how far away they are from their opponent. And the other one tends to be following.
Yeah, but very, very subtle movements. Just trying to draw that mistake, trying to make that mistake in distance, because it doesn't matter how fast your hand is. If you're in the wrong position, you're going to get hit anyway.
But if you like, Dave, the point I'm making is that it's very easy to look at the whole thing, and you look at both fences, you won't see too much. If you focus on the front feet, both front feet, you will start to get a feeling for who is controlling the distance and how big the distance is, and how much it changes between the two fencers throughout the entire fight.
Absolutely. No, the footwork is the opportunity. This is what the back and forth, this is the bouncing, as people refer to it. It's not really bouncing, it's sort of this repetition, back and forth, jostling for position, and then almost trying to induce a mistake or induce, a half attack, and then that provides the opportunity to capitalize. We'll see. Actually, this could be interesting. Maybe they could fence this one.
Well, we've got Zhang Peiying on for China, and Renee Embrich on for Estonia. And I'm not as convinced as you that they will start this one, but actually, as I say that, Zhang comes out and gets her first hit.
No, I'd actually back the Sun Yuen.
Sun Yuen, I apologise.
Right. No, it's just this is reliving the final of yesterday. I'd actually back Sun Yuen to get a couple of points back here if Embrich isn't careful. Definitely attacks the hand. Say lower risk attacks.
Yeah, we're both getting mixed up here. Embrich came off after the non-combativity with Zhang, and it's Sun, as you said, Dave, against Believa.
Right-handed, can't be Embrich.
And you're right, though. Sun is the one that's trying to take the fight to Believa. Believa, though, has just been this solid rock in the team. I'm not sure how long Sun is going to keep up with that, but then, of course, you will have the replay of yesterday's individual final in the anchor leg between Sun. So does Sun throw everything at it right now and take that risk, or does she wait for Embrich in the last leg and hope her teammates can maybe close the gap a little bit?
I think the idea is that in this leg is that Sun brings it back to level. So started off, 3 hits behind? So bring that back to level. Good chance that then the teammates don't want to fence or non-combativity or keep it pretty even, and then you leave it for the two big fences to finish. I think Julia Believa may struggle with just Sun Yuen's proficiency for the attacking that forward target. So constantly at the hand, constantly at the knee. Not so much the foot, but very, very strong around the hand and the upper arm. Lower arm.
And with that extra reach on the pommeling grip, it is a deadly weapon. It's just how many hits Sun will go for. Is one more enough? Will she keep pressing until she gets level? Will she keep pressing even if she gets level to try and go ahead?
Yeah, I wouldn't get inside the team instructions of Hughes Aubrey. I'm not sure I'm qualified to do that, but I mean, if it was me calling the shots, I'd say level would be the target. So trying to get another 2 hits back.
Well, a double there, fairly meaningless at this stage of the competition. We're in leg 6. The target score is 30 points. We're miles away with that, and there's only a minute left, so very unlikely we'll get there, especially with the pace of this fencing and the way that Believa is saying, well, if you want to come and get me, Sun Yuen, you're going to have to come and get me. I'm not going to gift you these hits. I'm going to use as much of the piece as I can.
Yeah, I think it's a bit risky. We saw 3 or 4 sort of counter attacks, just leaving her arm out as Sun Yuen stepped in, which provided a bit of practice for the moving target for Sun Yuen to hit. Doesn't miss many. For me, I'd be using the blade a lot more. Keeping her away with parries, not keeping her away with counter attacks and sticking your arm out, because you stick your arm out, that's a nice big juicy target, and she will hit. I'm just not sure this is exactly the right thing to do, but
well, got level. So let's see if your prediction's right.
So I think that was exactly right from Believa. She did make the parry. She just missed the riposte, which is, you know, unfortunate. She was doing the right thing, and then because she missed, it gave Sun a chance to hit, and she did.
The tactics were right. The execution, unfortunately, was not perfect.
That's
so
it.
Sundo has got level. I just get a funny feeling she's going to try and get them into the lead. She looked like she was going for it, but they're going to let time tick away. Great leg from the individual champion from yesterday.
Yeah, level is a great result. That's exactly what the doctor would have ordered there, I think.
So next up, we definitely have Kushk on the right, and it is, as we can see very clearly there, the substitute from China who's come on. So Zhang has gone off, -1 indicator. She gave one more hit away than she scored for the Chinese team. So the reserve comes in. Zhang Yuxuan is on, and she is facing Kristina Kushk. It doesn't look like we're going to see Erika Kerpu from the Estonian team, the reserve there. We have seen her earlier on today, but she's been rested for this gold medal match. And a tight one it is now at 14 apiece. Now, at what point does Vanessa? Sorry, it's not Vanessa, is it? It's Anna Kovria of Serbia now refereeing this match.
Oh, no, this is Vanessa. This is Vanessa from Spain.
Oh, it's the assessor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're standing quite close to each other.
Yeah.
Hard to work out which one's which. Yeah. So no, I would call this right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're closing the distance enough for either to be attempting a hit. We've had another extra 10 seconds more than needed for the referee to call non-combativity, but she does. A Spanish referee saying enough is enough.
I know why you leave that alone. I mean, especially when the fences are so close, you don't want to be that referee that annuls a touch for non-combativity, right? It's just, so you do want them to sort of break distance. It just, I don't know, you shout really loudly and hopefully you don't shout halt mid-attack.
Can I ask one question about that, actually, because it's quite interesting, that particular point. How long would you leave a fight over a minute if you felt as a referee they were actually trying to hit each other?
No, but that's not the point. So the rule actually defines non-combativity as in a minute without a hit.
Right.
So it doesn't matter whether they're trying to hit each other or not. The situation that there has been approximately a minute without a touch means that by definition there is non-combativity, even if they're doing their best to try and hit each other. Even through inability, for example, it's still non-combativity.
Have referees worked, or has the FIE worked its way to that point? Because when the new non-combativity rule was brought out, you would see fights going on way past a minute.
Yeah, I think we're pretty consistent with that call. I think, you know, as you say, as ever with any new rule, you try and work out the best way to implement things. I think we're going to see another non-combativity call right here.
Well, and that I can get. That I see, and I say they're standing too far away from each other. They'd have to go step, lunge. They'd have to do at least 3 steps to get
they
close
don't want
enough.
a fence.
They don't want a fence. So why leave it for a minute? And quite clearly the referee didn't do that. The other way round, though, I find a little challenging.
I think there's 2 things. So there's clearly when they don't want a fence, but then there's also you can't just have sort of tippy-tacker engagements of the blade for a minute. Well, you know, I think a number of combat sports do have rules, and a lot of combat sports have penalties, like we used to, for non-combativity. My view is that even in épée, a minute is more than enough time to compose a hit. 2 hits, 3 hits. Yeah. So if you don't use your minute, then we're just going to move it on.
That's great. It's so interesting to hear that point of view. Right, the 2 lefties from yesterday's gold medal match in the individual, they're not fencing each other either. They're going to wait out for a non-combativity priority minute, and you might think, well, this is a bit boring. Let me tell you, a non-combativity priority minute usually is a whole load of fun.
We are going to, yeah, exactly. And so this is different to a traditional non-combativity minute. We are going to fence the entire minute, and if the scores are level, I think Arena Ambridge has
She's got the priority
so
indeed.
It's complete. We're going to fence the entire minute.
So no sudden death.
Nope.
We won't just have one hit, and doubles will count now. They will go up on the score.
Exactly. The score will tick up.
So you'll see the score tick up if both get a hit. If one gets hit, you'll see the score tick up. But it's not a sudden death combat priority minute. It is a non-combativity priority minute. We will get a full minute. And who is going to take the risk?
As you say, so Embridge won, which probably I'd say suits her game. Does mean that Sun Yuen has to attack. Again, probably doesn't bother her too much. She would, I'd say, ordinarily like to be the fence of pushing, attacking the foot, attacking the hand, attacking the knee.
Well, it's finishing in exciting fashion, and it's China that have taken the advantage. We have 15 on the scoreboard for the Chinese, but we will still have 27 seconds of fencing left. Now, what does Embrick do? Yesterday's gold medalist Sun up against yesterday's individual silver medalist in Embrick. Embrick has got it all to do. She's got to draw level at least.
But this is interesting, because if she draws level, then she's in the lead. She wins. Ooh.
But then you get her having to push to get that hit with the time ticking away, and all of a sudden the tactics have opened up for Sun. Sun can pick her off. The extra reach she's got from pommel grip, and now Embrick is realising 13 seconds you can still close the gap, but she realises she's got to spring a surprise to get a single light on the box. She's got to go for it. She gets one back. 11 seconds on the clock. China leading 17-16. How exciting is this after a fairly tense build-up?
But if Embrick gets one more, then Sun's got to go, right?
Absolutely.
This could turn on a knife edge.
Oh, and again, stepping in this time, Embrick steps in, takes the blade, but the steps are too big, too fast, gets too close, and Sun lands a single light. This time it's a double. It's fairly irrelevant other than the time's ticked away. The Chinese 2 ahead, under 10 seconds left to go. Another double. 2 hits in 6.9 seconds needed for the Estonians.
That single light from Sun Yuen, fantastic. Sure, Embridge thought she was going to run away. Steps in, disengage hit. Superb.
A beat there, getting close quarters. The referee calls halt, has to stop the clock himself. No light on the box, so it doesn't stop automatically. 4.65 seconds left. Gold medal at stake. Embrick desperately trying to beat her opponent's blade out of the way, still trailing by 2.
Well, she's got to go.
Still just over 3 seconds left. Embrick has got to close the distance, find the blade, knock it out of the way, and then go. She gets one back. This is going to be a thrilling finish. If Embrick gets level, she's won it for Estonia.
Oh, this is...
Sun is just going to run away, right?
This is astonishing. One touch.
Here she comes, Sun's running away, the clock's out!
It's over!
And China took the individual medal with Sun Yuen yesterday, who's Aubrey's first title for the Chinese, and now they have taken the world #1 team Estonia out in a thrilling non-combativity priority minute, winning 22-21.
Oh, Aubrey, here's Aubrey, Midas touch. What a superb end to the match, eh? How good was that?
Absolutely unbelievable. It builds and builds and builds these team épée matches, and if you don't understand how great it can be